Guys, it's Chris here, and just in the process of wrapping up a project that I've been working on and just going through some pre-launch checklist stuff to make sure that we were ready to publish a site and that everything was working and in place. One of the last things that I do after testing out all the forms is I want to make sure that the form notifications are, first of all, going out to the right emails and that they're getting delivered properly. One of the things that I like to do, though, is I actually like to customize the email notification that goes out, because the standard default notification template that is usually part of like a page builder like Elementor or Beaver Builder, they're not really much of a template at all. They're pretty much just plain text. So if you don't do anything with them and the client gets an email notification that somebody submitted a form on their website, those notifications don't look very good. So what I like to do is I like to do a little bit of work to just improve the look of that notification and maybe even add a little bit of branding to it. So what I wanted to do is just show you very quickly what I do. It's not a long process. It's pretty easy. Produces pretty good results, and it just adds that extra little bit of professionalism to what you do. I think it also provides a better user experience for your clients, because when they get those form submissions, I think that they'll feel a little bit better about them when they see that they look professional. I think it just it really will help to elevate the whole experience for them. So I'm going to show you the process that I go through. It's pretty easy. At this point in time, I actually just have like a reusable template that I use, but I'll show you how I came about creating the template that I use now, and how you guys can do the same thing pretty much in only a couple of minutes. Okay, so I'm going to jump on my computer real quickly and show you exactly what you need to do. Okay, guys, so first of all, let me just show you what a regular form submission would look like if you don't customize the actual notification. So this was done using Elementor's built-in form, and you'll see that it's basically just a plain text email. Has some information about the user and their device and things like that, and then it just has the actual form fields and the information for those fields included as just plain text. So that's what it would look like normally. And what I'm going to show you is how you guys can convert that into something more like this, where you have, a branded or a colored section at the top, and you have the submission details in a little box. Again, all the forum information is still going to be in plain text. It's not going to look super fancy, but this definitely looks a whole lot better than the built-in default for any of these page builders. So let me show you how you go about doing this. So the first thing to note is that, essentially the reason why it looks like this is because although the emails are getting sent out as HTML emails, there's actually no markup or anything in these notifications or these email templates that styles them or structures them at all. So what we need to do is create structure through HTML and styling to make it look the right way. Now, that's easier said than done, though. Email HTML is a whole different ballgame than regular website HTML. And there's all sorts of problems that get introduced with all the different types of email clients out in the market and user devices. Email HTML markup is definitely something that requires a whole lot of testing and experience to know exactly how to create it in a way that's going to be compatible across all devices. Fortunately, though, there's people and there's businesses out there that specialize in this type of service, and we can actually just tap into those and get the proper markup done so that we have reliable HTML email templates that we can use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you guys can use a service called Litmus to create these templates and then customize them for use with your client projects. So the first thing we need to do is just jump over to litmus.com. Now, Litmus does have pricing options. They're not free to use for their more advanced email services, but you can get a free account. If we go back to the homepage, you'll see that they have a sign up free option. And this gets you access to the Litmus dashboard where you can actually create free templates. They do have premium templates you have to pay for, but the free ones are perfectly fine for what we need because these are just basic email notifications that we're going to be using. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to log in real quick and I'm going to show you the Litmus dashboard and how you guys can go about creating those templates. Okay, so when you log into the Litmus dashboard, this is what you're going to see. You're going to have to basically first start a project. So I think on the free tier, you're allowed to have a maximum of one project. So which is perfect. We don't really need a whole lot. We just need to be able to get the access to the templates. So what we can do here, what you're going to need to do is basically just select write HTML from scratch and then click next. And then it doesn't really matter which of these options you choose. You're going to need to give this project a title. So for this, I'm going to just say Elementor form submissions. And I'm going to choose any one of these. It doesn't really matter what you choose. I'll show you how you can actually get more than just the options that are here in terms of templates. Just give that project a title and hit Start Project. Now, basically, you're going to get taken into the Litmus editor. This is actually a pretty cool interface because I think this is actually using the, I don't know if it's Atom or if it's Sublime. I think it's Sublime, actually, the Sublime editor in here. So you can do all sorts of Sublime type syntax and shortcuts and things like that in here. But anyways, basically what you're going to see here on the right-hand side is the actual look of the template that you're currently working with. And so what we're going to want to do is just come up here to the templates option at the top. And this will give you access to all of the Litmus templates. So not all of these are free, I believe. You might have to pay for some, but I mean, basically all we need is a really basic email template. So for the notifications that I use for clients, I actually just use either this brun breton, or however you pronounce that, or I use something like this closed account email template, just something basic that frames the email and gives me space to be able to put in the basic fields or form field information and have a title. And that's pretty much it. So for this example, I'm going to actually use this receipt template, I'll call it. And what we're going to do is we're just going to change this title up here. We're going to change this heading. We're going to get rid of some of this text, and we're going to basically customize this section here and get rid of everything else that we don't really need. So what you're going to want to do is inside the editor, you're just going to do a Control F to do a find, and you're going to type in the title. So this is BERETUN. And you'll see that we found where that heading is up here. So we can actually just come in here, change this to something like form submission, right? And now we have the proper title in here. Next thing you want to do is just look for this particular line of text. Okay, so there we go. The heading is right here, and so we can actually just change this to something like "You got a lead." Now, right above this heading, there's actually an image here, which is supposed to be a check mark. We can just get rid of that because we don't want anything else there. This lorem ipsum, we don't need this lorem ipsum in here. So the way that these email templates are created, in order for them to be as cross-device, cross-client compatible as possible, is they're actually built the old school way of creating websites where everything was just tables. So what we're going to do is just get rid of this entire table row, which is basically this row here of text. So we're going to get rid of this section here. And what we can do is, this is not really ideal, not like semantically the best thing to do, but we're going to just put in a couple of line breaks in here to give a bit of extra spacing. Technically, you want to be doing that with things like padding and things like that. But just to speed up this video, I'm just going to add in a couple line breaks. Next thing you're going to want to do is just change this order confirmation to something like submission details. And then what we're going to do is just get rid of this text here, get rid of all the prices, and we're just going to replace this whole left-hand side with the form details. So what we're going to do here is we can get rid of this text here. Now, I think the best thing to do is probably just put in this bit of code here, ampersand NBSP, which stands for non-breaking space. And it's basically just the HTML character for a space, essentially. And so we can just add that in here. With the purchased items, actually, what we're going to do is actually just going to do an open square bracket and put all hyphen fields in here and then close the square brackets. This is actually for Elementor. This is the short code, if you will, for all of the form fields. And so this is where we're going to want to have all that data displayed inside of this cell. This is a dollar value here. We don't need that, so we can replace that with a space. Now, everything else, this is basically one row inside of this table, and all of this extra stuff we don't really need, including the total. So what we can do is you'll see that this is a whole table row here that has the field and then another cell that has now a space. We can actually just get this other table row, which is the next item, which is the shipping and handling. And we can get the next one, which is the sales tax. And we can just get rid of all of this extra stuff because we don't really need any of this. Okay, now the same thing can be done with this total section. We don't need that at all. So we can just go in here to this next table row where you have the total and the total dollar value, and we can get rid of that table row as well. That gives us basically just the submission details, the short code for all the field data, and that's pretty much it. So we can just get rid of everything else because everything else we don't really need. And then we should be ready to rock and roll. So let's just go and find where this table row ends and delete that. And we'll get this next table row here and delete that. And do the same thing for the address information and delete that. Now that's all we're left with. It's just basically the a basic email template. What we can do is maybe just add a little bit of extra spacing in here with some styles, CSS styles. We can maybe change this color for the form submission out to be a branded color for the client. And then you're pretty much ready to rock and roll. I'm not going to actually go and style this stuff because I think you guys can probably do that on your own. But what I'm going to show you is how you guys can plug this form now into Elementor and start using this email template going forward. Okay, guys, so this is basically just a boilerplate WordPress installation that I use to sort of jumpstart a new project. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to add in a new page. We'll call this form example. Publish this. And I'm just going to go into the Elementor editor. Okay, I'm just going to add in a basic form in here. And all you're going to need to do essentially is go into the email tab here. Where you have this email content, you'll see that there's that short code again for all the field data. And you're just going to go into Litmus. You're going to copy all of the code here. Just do Control A, Control C to copy. And you're going to go over to the email content field here. And you're just going to Control V and paste all of that code in here. Since we've already put in that short code in the right place, which was right here, that all that form information is automatically going to be put into the right place on this email template. And that's pretty much it. Once you've done that, you can test your form out and make sure that the email template is working properly, but it should work just fine. Those email templates, like I said, have been tested across many devices and email clients and are known to be very, very highly compatible. So that's basically the process for, upgrading the email notification templates that page builders like Elementor and Beaver Builder use. So it's basically just HTML, but I highly recommend you guys go in and find templates from either a service like Litmus. Also, MailChimp has templates as well that you can use. I personally like Litmus because it has this nice Sublime editor in here. But choose your poison, whatever you guys want to do. But this one extra little detail definitely helps to elevate the overall look and feel of the website. Okay, guys, so that's pretty much the entire process there. As you can see, it doesn't take very long to get that done. So if you found this video helpful, help me out with a thumbs up on this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next one.